also pro Tubi movie. I broke a rule of mine, and that rule is there's no champagne room tonight. I can't F with you people again. I've been on a bunch of shows this week. I've been doing stuff right before this show. I'm tired. I'm gonna admit I'm exhausted. I decided I'm gonna write this weekly thing. There's what you can chew, and there's more than what you can chew, and that's always what I'm biting off. But anyway, last night after I was done with the champagne room, the other black guy in Rosarito was like, "Ben's over here. We're drinking. Dude, come through." And I thought after I was done with my show, they'd leave me alone. Like, okay, they know it's late. They know I'm tired. Nigga, where you at? Come through. That's not Ben. That's the other black guy. I don't you think Ben talks like that. Hang out there till way too late. For old people, it was too late for all of us. And I got home and I was tired. I was like, I'm just going to go to sleep. And I was like, but let me just turn on Tubi to see if there's any horror movies on Tubi. And there's also like really good, they have all the Canon movies on Tubi. And as I'm looking at my list of movies, and I told you guys before on the show in the champagne room, I'm not going to watch a Tubi Black movie. I'm just going to watch the clips with no context because they're awesome. When that lady shoots the dude and then shoots his wife, and the kid goes, "But I'm just a kid." Or the grandpa that's supposed to be in a catatonic state and the nurse is blowing him and then he wakes up. That's insane. So I didn't realize I put this Tubi movie on my list. It's a very black movie. And most black movies I see take place in Atlanta. And this movie was called Illicit. And there's people in it that look familiar because you've seen them in bit parts and other stuff. But I couldn't point any of these people out. And they were like older than me, but they were fine. Like everybody was just ripped. And I'm looking these people up on IMDb. I'm like, this nigga is like 3 years older than me and he's ripped like that. Fuck, this is why no one loves me. Anyway, I do have to. I don't understand this movie. I haven't finished it yet. There's like the last 20 minutes of it. If Steve is watching, I feel like Steve has probably watched Illicit. Ridiculous movie. They're like soap operas, and they always have a just stupid premise. It doesn't matter. I'm all in for the ridiculousness. So this dude and his wife, and it's a kind of a nice looking, well put together man and a very pretty, although very thin, light skinned wife. Really thin. And he's a parole officer. And Vivica Fox is his boss at the parole office that kind of looks like an office building, but whatever. And for some reason, all the parolees he deals with are like the finest women in LA. I'm like, okay, should have chose a different career. And he gets this one parolee that's just like really, she's like a thicker, younger version, a mildly thicker. She's kind of skinny too. There wasn't a lot of ads. Like Sir Mix-a-Lot has a line in Baby Got Back, LA face with an Oakland booty. That does come from somewhere. But anyway, this I've never seen this woman in any movie before. The parolee woman, and she was gorgeous. And you just know it's like, oh, it's gonna go bad. He's gonna cheat on his wife with this woman. And so the parolee woman is she apparently was beat by her boyfriend and then she beat him up. And he gave her the most pull up your pants speech that I've ever heard. And it was offensive. Because basically her whole thing is like, I'm not a criminal. I was protecting myself. And they would have all these flashback scenes. And you would see the boyfriend like, shut up, bitch. And he's just like, just beating her for no reason kind of thing. And the parole guy, the family guy that's married to the skinny light chin chick, is like, you made the decision to date a felon, and you are a smart young black woman that has a degree from Howard University. You a Howard University grad. How can you be so stupid? I was like, this is how you talk to women that have experienced domestic violence? You're really not good at your job, sir. But that seems to be a theme of this movie, right? Whoever wrote it. And it's not an old movie. It's not like it's from 94. This movie definitely comes out in the post Me Too era. But, I digress. And then on the other side, his wife is like sad a little bit, even though her life is so perfect. And her car wasn't working one day, so she had to get an Uber ride to her outdoor Pilates class. And the Uber driver is like this super attractive guy that's really flirty. And she keeps leaving shit in the car. And she never goes, oh, wow, I left my purse in the car. So the guy just has to keep coming back to see her. If I've known people that have thought they left their phone and everything stops, right? You're walking and dude, I left my phone. And then everybody acts like it's an emergency. It's not an emergency. You just left your phone. Turn it off. You have insurance for it. Get another one or whatever the fuck. Who gives a shit? Now, good. We get to spend fucking a day now without you constantly checking social media to see if somebody liked your picture of your dog. Awesome. We can live a little. But anyway, she like left her purse. She left her whole purse. And the guy goes, hey, you left this. She's like, oh, I didn't even realize it. How do you not realize you left your whole fucking purse? What woman just leaves her whole fucking purse and just keeps never? Anyway, they needed to set this thing up. So the dude is like this pretty boy Uber driver, and she gave him like $10. She like tipped him $10. She's like, here's $10 for giving me back my purse that I fucking left in your car. And he goes, this would barely even get me gas, but I guess I can get some food with this. And he asked her out on a date, and she obliged. She obliges him on the date. She's a married woman, and apparently she was a model. And the dude's like, oh, you're so beautiful. By the way, I'm a photographer. And she's like, no shit, I'm a model. Go figure that I get into your Uber, right? Only in LA. And so the dude's like trying to hype her up. He's like, oh, you're so pretty. I should take your pictures. And then she has like this friend that's kind of like Pam from Martin. And Tank is in this movie too. So if there are any black people watching, I remember Tank. Tank is in this movie, the R&B singer. And the friend's like, girl, you don't want to be trusting no Uber driver photographers because they be Craigslist serial killers. And I was like, that's fair. That's pretty fair. It's not like there wasn't a guy that literally was a serial killer that posed as a photographer in Los Angeles. So she goes home and she tells her husband, hey, I'm kind of tired of only being able to leave the house for like an hour a day. I want to get back into modeling. And the husband gets like super mad. Like, who the fuck gets mad if their wife's a model? You have this super hot wife that was a model when you met her, and he's like, I told you, no wife of mine is a modeling. It's like, what? I mean, was she modeling fucking dildos before? It sounds like she was just a standard model. What the fuck is the problem? Parole officer guy? Chill out. He starts like yelling at her, and she's like, honey, I'm with the kid all day. And then they have a kid. The kid is like one scene in the movie, And then it's like, fuck that kid. The kid's nowhere to be seen. That kid is like the extra child on Family Matters. That kid went to her room, and that was it for that kid. And so, um, this chick, she's like, the husband goes, "No wife of mine will ever be a model. I will not allow it." And I was like, this is ridiculous. What black man in LA is yelling at their hot wife, "No wife of mine will ever be a model"? Like, who wrote this bullshit? Anyway, now I'm really invested in this book. Now I'm like all in. So of course, what happens? She forgot something else, and the guy goes, "Hey, you forgot your wig. You know, something that you shouldn't forget." And he sees her, and they go out, and this time, apparently somebody's watching their kid, because nobody is picking up the kid at this point in the movie. And the wife gets with the dude, and he is just balls deep in the wife, just digging her out. And they flash back to the husband, and the husband is trying to help this woman that he just chastised like hell, that was a spousal abuse victim. And I guess she seduced him, whatever. Like I said, she's like a thicker version of his wife. And he didn't have like the passionate romantic sex scene that the wife had. They just kind of show him doing it a little. And then the next scene, he's like washing his dick in this woman's sink. I was like, oh yeah, black people wrote this. And so I was like, okay, that's interesting. So they flash back. Now they go to the wife, and the wife is out, and the Uber driver guy goes, "Hey, come with me to my friend's house." And she's like, "No, I can't." And I figured she'd say, "I have to pick up my daughter." But no one even gives a shit about this kid. Like, the kid was a focal point for the husband mad at her that she couldn't model. He was like, "You can't model because I pay for your life and you're supposed to watch the kid." Because that was the agreement for me paying for your life. And he and I guess instead of modeling, he lets her make jewelry. I was like, what? So anyway, the wife is extremely unfulfilled. So Uber driver guy who just gave her the business. Oh, oof. So he's like, "Hey, come to my friend's house. Let's hang out, have dinner." And she's like, "Okay," because fuck my kid. And she goes to the friend's house. And you know who the friend is? Dean Cain. Yup. Dean. I played Scott Peterson, and for the rest of my life, I'm going to look like Scott Peterson Cain. I thought Dean Cain was some kind of racist because he was like on some pro-Trump shit. Dean Cain looks like when he got the phone call, he started high-fiving all his friends. He's like, "Man, I'm about to be so knee deep in these black women in this movie." He was so fired up. So the dude takes her to Dean Cain's house, and then there's like these other people at the house. So I'm now yelling at the TV alone at 3:45. I looked at the clock because I was like, I got to wake up in like an hour. I wake up about 4:30. And then I go, well, maybe I'll wake up at 6:30. I'll sleep in today. I'll wake up at 6:30 because I have to see how this ends, because I'm yelling at the TV. I was like, "It's a gangbang! Don't go to the gangbang at Dean Cain's house." And she's like super naive to the gangbang. And in my head, I'm thinking, who the fuck takes the married woman they're fucking to a gangbang on the second date? Like, really?
Because I nut quick.
That's me. And that's why I'm not going to a gangbang on the second date. Seriously. There were some of the finest black women that LA had to offer at the moment. And Dean Cain was just grinning the whole time. I don't think he was acting. I think he was legitimately pleased to be doing that scene. And you know it's a gangbang because the dude, all the guys except for the guy that this chick is screwing were like white guys. And they all had these really hot black wives / girlfriends. And they were just grinning. They were like, "Oh, honey, I love you so much." And then someone else would say something. They look over at like the one white dude looked over at Dean Cain's wife and was like, "Yeah, you are hot." And I keep yelling at the TV, "It's a gangbang! It's a gangbang in Dean Cain's house." At some point, you know it's a gangbang, right? I can't be the only person to know how to identify a gangbang. I feel like gangbangs aren't surprise scenarios you accidentally walk into. And I also feel like gangbangs aren't the kind of thing you go, hey, Ben, what are you doing tomorrow? You want to come with me to Dean Cain's house? We're just gonna hang out. He's got some booze. You like scotch, right? Apparently he's got some single malt scotch. And he says you do have to bring a woman though, and a tarp. I don't know, but it's Dean Cain. It's all good. You remember Dean Cain? You don't go to Dean Cain's house and not think there's going to be a gangbang. Come on. Serious. And you don't bring someone on the second date to a gangbang. I love Vagina to a fault. I am single for a reason. I'm not a cheater. I'm just stupid. But I'm a big fan of Vagina. Huge fan. If I could get an iced out necklace of it like the rappers, I'd wear it with pride. And I would never think, hey, woman I just met, who I gave the deepest, most passionate dick down to, the kind where he was like, he like turned her over and he was just like, eh. It wasn't even slow motion. It was just like, he just, I want you to feel every fucking ridge of this meat. I can't follow that up with a gangbang. Who does that? Who thinks like that? Who wrote that? I was so offended. I was yelling, and I felt like the scene took forever for her to realize it was a fucking gangbang. The moment you see Dean Cain, another white man with a hot black chick, and Dean Cain brings out a hot black chick, look at the dude you're with and go, "Did you just bring me to a gangbang at Dean Cain's house?" And if he goes, "It's kind of an orgy type thing," be like, "Tomato, this is a gangbang at Dean Cain's house, and you're a piece of shit. It's bad enough I cheated on my husband, and I came really hard, like really hard, so hard I had to go to church the next day and repent. I came so hard that they wrote out the child in this movie." That's how hard I came in the fuck scene. I am not going to Dean Cain's house. I'm not going up these stairs with you to a weird fucking gangbang at Dean Cain's house. I signed up for you to dick me down slow and make me feel bad about it later. I did not sign up for all these people to do the same thing. Didn't. Not what I asked for. I'm a boring married woman that just jumped out of the marriage with 2 feet. And now you want me to jump, not in the deep end of the pool, you want me to bungee jump off Everest into the dick soup that is the Dean Cain house gangbang. Not cool, man. And she doesn't realize it's a gangbang right away. Again, I'm yelling, it's a gangbang. Dean Cain's girlfriend says something about a piercing because she makes jewelry. The lady thinks, oh, you make jewelry? The lady goes, I need to get a new ring for my hood. And the woman goes, your hood? And then Dean Cain's a chick, black chick, picks up her leg. They're eating dinner, by the way. This is at the dinner table. She picks up her leg, puts her leg on the table to reveal her vagina where she could see the piercing. I was like, I like to change it out every so often. You know, just switch things up a little bit. Okay. If that's not a signal for you're at a gangbang at Dean Cain's house, what the fuck? You're just blind. Or maybe you wanted the gangbang. Maybe you did want to accidentally fall into the gangbang. I don't know what's going on here. Maybe you wanted to play, look, who's in my butthole now? But if I go to Dean Cain's house and an attractive black woman puts her vagina on the dinner table, that's when I say, good day, sir. And I take my napkin and I throw it down and I leave. I don't know what's going to happen in that situation. I don't know Dean Cain like that. You think you know Dean Cain, but do you know Dean Cain? You think it's going to be a fucking party, right? You think it's going to be all good. Nuri says that is a great icebreaker game. You don't know Dean Cain? I want to tell you guys a true story about something that happened to me in a similar situation, but I can't because I'm on the main show. But I did run out of the house. All I'm going to say is I ran out of the house because I didn't know if that guy was going to Dean Cain me. And trust me, you don't want to get Dean Caned. Second date. Second date. And it wasn't like you were doing weird, freaky sex with her in the first place. You didn't have like a weird fuck trapeze and a dildo wall or a pommel horse, and she was doing weird gymkhana dismounts onto your cock. None of that shit happened. You had passionate, I'm cheating on my husband sex. You had that, I finally feel pretty, and the moment I come, I'm probably going to feel bad about this sex. You don't follow that up with a gangbang. You just don't follow that up with a gangbang. The vagina at the table, she just made this face. She was like, your friends sure are weird. And the one white guy, like the most nondescript white guy ever, he was probably a producer on the film. He was like, can I get in the gangbang scene? He's married to the young lady that was in that TV show, The Game, that was married to the main. They kind of had the main storyline of the game. I can't think of that woman's name. She kind of looks like one of the Maori sisters. Super cute. Super cute. He was with her. And homegirl has her vagina out. And that girl and him, they're looking at her vagina and they're like, yeah, your piercing is gorgeous. What? Ding, 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 ding. Again, I've been in a weird situation. I've lived a life. Not going to get into all the details, but certain things were happening before I ran out of the house. And I can't tell you the whole story because it does not put me in the best light. But there was a moment where I was like, oh, I'm not in Kansas anymore, Toto. And I got to make a decision here. Am I going to participate in the Dean Cain gangbang? Or am I going to run out of here with no pants on? But I got to make a decision quick because I don't want to be rude. Uncouth. So the couple looks over and then they look at each other and they're like, I love you. And they start making out. And the chick's still like, man, your friends sure are just so open with their affection. Chick, you're like 40 years old and apparently you were a model until like 3 years ago. You've never seen a gangbang and cocaine fountains? What kind of model were you? I feel like if you model underwear for Sears, you've still seen some shit. I feel very confident in that. Wait, and she was supposed to be some runway model or something. You've never been at a gangbang? Never? You've never seen people do weird drugs you've never heard of and start fucking each other in front of you? Come on, lady. Come on. That's why maybe that's why the date felt so comfortable. He's like, oh, you used to model? Pfft, you wouldn't mind going to a gangbang at Dean Cain's house. It's gangbang nights, Tuesday. They were talking about that. Like, yeah, it's been hard for us to get together for our monthly thing. When people say, okay, true story. I can say this because no one that lives near me watches what I do. One day, my neighbor told me, hey, we have this monthly get together here in the area, and all the homeowners get together, and it's kind of like a mixer. Oh, that's kind of cool. And he kept telling me about it. And he's like, you gonna be around? You gonna be around? We're gonna do it this day. It's gonna be at this person's house. You're gonna be around. And I went. I live in a community where me and Ben are like the youngest people by far. And we're not homeowners. Everyone's much older. And I went there and I thought to myself, is this one of those Dean Cain parties? Mainly because this one woman walked up to me and she goes, I've never seen you before. And she just started like grabbing me. And I was like, either this is a scene in Get Out or it's a scene in a porn movie called Get In. And I don't know which one I'm in, but either one does not play well for me right now. So I know even then it was but it is an innocent thing, right? There's a potluck, a lot of networking that goes on, but it's cool. Me and Ben went to another one that happened a few months ago. Sadly, I had COVID, so I missed the last one. But they're fun. They're fun events. You get to know your neighbors, and but you don't get to like know your neighbors, right? You're knowing them like this. Like we did this gang sign thing. You're knowing them like this, not like this, right? But when nothing but couples are there and they can't stop smiling, it's a gangbang. When Dean Cain is there, it's a gangbang. When a woman takes her vagina out and kind of puts it on the dinner table It's probably a gangbang. There's a good chance that it's a gangbang. Don't make this face and look around for the punked cameras. Oh, there's no cameras at the gangbang. No, no, no. Just your memory camera. So they'd stop eating dinner. Like she went through dinner. And I'm yelling two things. I'm yelling, it's a gangbang. And then I'm yelling, where the fuck is the kid? Because the husband is cheating as well. The husband is literally fucking his parolee. Like, whoa, you're kind of a shitty guy. You're fucking your parolee. I mean, she was very, that woman was very attractive. She was the reason why I went to the Internet Movie Database. Which is like the approved way to stalk, isn't it? Isn't it? It's like stalking has become so normalized now we don't even realize that when we're stalking. That at that moment I realized I was stalking. I was like, I think I just stalked somebody. I went to Internet Movie Database and I saw her name. I was like, oh, and, you know, it links you to like their social media profiles. Luckily, I have no social media on my phone, so I can't link to it. If I could have, I would have. Oh, she lives in LA. I wonder what area. How can I accidentally, on purpose, be at the same coffee shop as this woman? We've so normalized stalking with stuff like that. To the point where we say, haha, I Facebook stalked you. Like, bitch, I just watched a show called You where a motherfucker died off that shit. Like, I'm terrified now. So the husband is banging the parolee and he does the thing that all men do when they cheat. This is wrong. We can't do this anymore. When a man says that when he's cheating, what he really means is, I feel guilty. I'm going to need you to get on top next time so I don't feel as guilty. I'm going to keep trying to find scenarios where I can accidentally on purpose be alone with you so we can do this again because you are a younger, hotter, wetter version of whatever I've been trying to have intercourse with. I ruined that relationship by literally yelling at her and telling her she can't have a life. I'll never get in that conversation with you because we don't have that relationship. So I can literally just come here and unload because I'm a piece of shit. Right? That's really what is going on. And I'm watching, I'm there for it. So he's done with the intercourse, and there's just banging on the door. Who could it be? Who could be banging at this woman's door? The abusive ex-boyfriend that she went to prison for beating up? Of course it's going to be the abusive ex-boyfriend that she went to prison for beating up. It's a black movie soap opera. And the dude was like not attractive. And he was like the first not attractive person in the movie. I was like, word? So back to stalker Jason, I'm thinking, because I'm so stupid, I'm like, if she was fucking that guy in the movie, maybe I got a shot. But seriously. So the girl answers the door and the guy's like, don't answer the door. Because that is actually a correct response. If someone's knocking on the door and saying, bitch, what are you in there doing, bitch? Don't answer the door. Don't answer the door. And also, don't answer the door because I'm sitting here with rock hard dick and a wedding ring. And I'm your parole officer. Answering that door puts a lot of shit in jeopardy right now, ma'am. Don't answer the door. Okay? He doesn't know his wife said, You're at a gangbang at Dean Cain's house. But still, doesn't matter. Don't answer the door. She's got she's got that outfit, and I'm so fucking corny. This is how corny I am. It's and whoever wrote this is probably my age because this is like what corny old dudes love. So she had that thing where she was wearing like his shirt and like her little panties, and that's it. And then the dude's like, "Bitch, you in there with some nigga, bitch?" And then she's like, "What should I do?" And he, of course, goes, "Don't answer the door." And then she like walks to the door, looking all post-sex sexy. And then the dude starts hitting her. "You got a nigga laying all up in your bed?" Now, apparently, because she went to prison, she's living in some apartment that's not the dude's. So he can't do the whole like, "You got this dude up in my house." Like it wasn't his house. So he couldn't even say that line. Like, why are you mad? Yeah, she's got a dude in the bed. Yeah. She went to prison because you were kicking her ass. And then she kicked your ass. So bad enough that she went to prison for it. And like, why? What did you think was going to happen when you went there? You think you were going to like bang on the door and she was going to be like, "Oh, I'm glad you found me, even though I'm unlisted." No, you obviously know there's some guy there. Walk away, Jerome. So he's like fighting the chick. The dude um, puts his clothes on a little because he's got to show that he's got a six pack. Which again, this really pissed me off because all these people are like older than me. I'm born in 77. That dude was born in 70. He was ripped. I was like, man, fuck that dude. Is he taking steroids? I'm sitting there watching it with a thing of Pringles in my hand. Fuck that dude. 3:45 in the morning. So the guy goes outside and dude's beating up the girlfriend and the husband has a bottle and he hits the boyfriend over the head with the bottle. And in real life, that causes severe damage. You're probably going to need stitches. You're probably concussed and you should go to a doctor. But in the movies, that's like, throwing like it's like a spitball at somebody. So he hits him over the head and breaks a bottle over this guy's head, and it just does nothing. And they start fighting, and he's kind of losing the fight. And then because MMA is so popular, he puts him in a rear naked choke. And then the girl comes out with a fucking Glock, and she's like, "Let him go!" And the boyfriend's like, "You ain't finna do nothing." And then she just shoots off to the side. The dude got scared and he's like, "You ain't gonna do it again." She goes, "I swear to God, I will put a hole in you if you don't leave." And so finally the dude goes, "This isn't over." This is what they always say in these movies. And then the um the husband now knows he's in a world of shit. His parolee has a gun. Last I checked, that's a violation. She shot said gun in a residential neighborhood in an apartment complex. He's there with no shirt on, and I'm sure if they put a black light in the room, it would look like a disco. So he's just in a world of shit. And I think, and then I couldn't even yell at that point. I was like, I'm like this. I'm like, what's gonna happen? And I'm waiting for them to go back to. I gotta find out what's going on with the gangbang. I gotta know. Does she succumb to the gangbang? They're back and they're just flip flopping these scenes. They flop back to the lady. And finally, like the dinner party's over, and finally the people are like making out, but they're not like fucking, but I think now she knows like it had to be so drawn out for her. She's like, "I think you took me to a gang bang at Dean Cain's house." And dude was like, "Yeah, yeah." And I'm thinking to myself, whoa, Uber driver, you got some big fucking nuts. Some big cast iron fucking haul them in a dump truck size nuts to be so like, yeah, yeah, bitch. I took you to a fucking gangbang. It was at Dean Gaines' house. It's Dean Gaines. It's super right. And Scott Peterson. And he goes, I know you like me. And I was like, ooh, I don't have the confidence to say shit like that. I know you like me because I dicked you down 2 scenes ago. The candles were going and lips were being bit and you were crying because you came so hard. Like, I know you like me. And she was like, I don't like you. I'm married and I don't like you. And I don't appreciate you taking me to a Dean Cain gangbang. And she called for an Uber because now she's got all of her stuff, right? Now she finally remembers her purse and phone. And the Uber driver comes and Uber driver says, hey, is your name whatever your name is in this stupid movie? And the guy goes, shut up. I was like, oh shit. I think the skinny dick down man might be showing his crazy card. And then they juxtapose to the husband, and he's like trying to explain to the homegirl. He's like, look, there's a gun. I need to take the gun. She goes, you got to call the cops because if you don't call the cops, he's going to come back. He goes, look, I'll try to file a restraining order, but I can't do shit. We can't call the cops. I can't be here fucking you. I have a job with benefits and a pension. I think I have a daughter. I don't know if we're going to write her out of this movie and cut those scenes away. But if I do, I have a daughter with very good hair. It's very hard to maintain that good hair. It's expensive. You know how much pink oil moisturizer costs in this economy? Whew. We live in a good neighborhood. We have to commute just to get the Korean beauty salon, to get the hair care products for this level of mixedness between my wife and this little girl. I'm not losing my job and having some nappy headed heathen running around my house just because you can't keep your mouth shut. Now, shut up. I'm not saying anything. So now she starts blackmailing him, right? She's like, oh, well, I want you all the time now. And a matter of fact, I want you to tell the judge to end my parole soon. I was like, oh, shit. She had an angle the whole time. Oh. The late 80s philosophers, there's a lot of talk about Marcuse and the Frankfurt School and Foucault on this show. But the philosophers that I studied the most in my youth, I really tried to emulate these people. The school of Bell, Biv, and DeVoe told me in 1989 to never trust a big butt and a smile. That woman kind of had both. It was a bigger butt than his wife, not the biggest butt, but a butt big enough not to trust. A smile not to trust. They told you in 89. You knew it was a problem. You already have a wife. You already have some light skinned child with a mane of hair. Your wife doesn't work. She sells jewelry. Really? Like, your job is really important. You cannot go around trusting big butts and smiles. Can't do it. Don't do it. Word of advice to all of you out there. Don't do it. If you're a woman, don't trust a big butt and a smile. My butt, pretty good size. I do some squats. I do lunges. I do reverse lunges. I can fill out some jeans. Don't trust my smile. I'm not going to take you to a Dean Cain gangbang, but I may be poison. Also,
because I nut quick.
There's that. There's that. So all this is happening. It's happening. And I'm like at the edge. I'm literally at the edge of the couch. And now it's 4 a.m. I'm like, I have to go to sleep. I turn the TV off. I don't know how the movie ended. I really did. I watched the documentary before this. I've watched Tony's stuff. I don't know how the movie ended. I'm going to hang up this because we've been going for 3 hours, which is way too long. And I'm going to try to find out how this movie ends. I don't know why. I just yelled about this for the last, I don't know how long. I'm sorry if you guys are annoyed. I was not reading the chat, so I have no idea what you were saying. The movie's called Illicit. Elicit. Check it out. Jason edging on the couch like JD fans. I was too tired to even go meat beating. I'm not even trying to be funny. I was just too tired. Had I been a little more awake, I probably would have. Maybe I wouldn't have fucked the couch, but I would have thought about it. The woman was fine. So fine. You cannot. Before I go, just remember. Belle, Biv, and DeVoe. It's always made sense to me, right? That big butt and smile comes at a price. He was willing to risk it all, literally. So I have to find out in these last 20 minutes. There was 19 minutes left in the film. I have to find out how this all gets resolved. Because I think it's going to get resolved where there's going to be some sort of fight and there's going to be fisticuffs on both sides. And maybe there's going to be some running involved, but I think they're going to stay married. Something's going to happen. He's going to be like, but I love my wife. It's like, really? You were yelling at her and you told her that she wasn't allowed to have a life. I think she can do better and I think she should move on. She shouldn't fuck the Uber driver because that guy's weird. But she should move on. Dr. Claus says, oh, wow, that was Essence Atkins. Is that the woman's name? I don't know. I don't know anyone's name. The movie is called Illicit. And it's on Tubi. Check it out. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I'm going to try to read some of these comments while I play the end credits.